As we reach the halfway point of our tour, we come upon this building, which is now known as Topsail House. I'm sure a few of you have shared some food, drinks here with family, enjoying your time spent in this historic monument to Cincinnati's past. Taft's Brewery started here in 2015. This three-story renovated marvel was originally St. Pat's Evangelical Church, built in the 1850s. This church was once the oldest Protestant parish in Cincinnati. The church's congregation abandoned it in the 1970s, leaving a ghastly ruin behind. This building once had a steeple, but was lost when the church caught fire in the late 1890s. Once abandoned, the church started to decay, and history dying with it. Starting in 2010, 3CDC began stabilization work on the building, providing a new life and purpose as you see today. Topsail House is a place for friendship, camaraderie, just like the church that came before it. Most of the features still remain, a testament to the architectural geniuses at the time. The ale house boasts beautiful wooden wrapped around balcony inside, as well as original features preserved in time. The original pastor of this church, Peter Mulhan, founded the congregation in a building on Walnut Street. He unfortunately did not spend much time preaching there, as he had passed away suddenly in May 1840. For Peter, the North German Lutheran Church was his livelihood, his family. For the congregation to lose their patriarchal leader was heartbreaking. They were surely lost for some time. Now came a sequence of successors of a rather short duration. Not one pastor would stay in the church for long. It raises questions as if Peter was unable to leave his congregation's side, stayed with them after his untimely death in the spring of 1840. You may be asking, what does Walnut Street have to do with this building on Race Street? Well, the successors of Peter decided that they did not want to meet in that cramped building on Walnut anymore. So they brought the grieving congregation to the doorstep of this building in 1851, only a year after it was built. We interviewed a couple of visitors and employees of Taft's today, curious if they experienced paranormal activity set forth by churchgoers past. One waitress, asking to remain anonymous, stated that it can be creepy at times. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a draft of cold air, and while this building was known for its chilly atmosphere, this is unlike anything like a cool breeze. It's like you're in a freezer. You can't even you can start to see your breath even. I also try to use the bathroom before I come to work because it just feels like there are eyes on you here. I don't think that it's going to hurt anyone, but you can just feel it in here. A regular bar patron, James, was more than willing to answer any questions we asked him. A laborer in town, he works full-time at a factory outside of the city and comes to Taft's to unwind after his shifts. He has been coming here since opening day. We asked him what draws him to this location out of all the other historic restaurants in OTR. What's special about Taft's? He laughed and he said, Taft's is like a family. It just feels like home. It feels like you belong here. You can be 1 out of 1,000 and they still call you by name. Interesting to us, considering the building's past being a close-knit community church. When we asked him if he had ever experienced any paranormal activity in the building, he laughed nervously, sipping his beer. I have, yes, but I'm not one of those loons you see on TV. But I was sitting here at the bar, minding my business, and I felt a strong touch on my shoulder, like a friend would do when coming up to say hello. I turned, expecting to see one of my coworkers, but there was no one behind me, not even passing by. James told us he wasn't frightened by the experience, rather calmed by it. He said if it is a ghost, it cares about the people here. I felt very good when it touched me, like I was being touched by an old friend I hadn't seen in ages. A couple of other staff members had also experienced activity here, but everyone agreed it felt like a familiar, friendly presence. No one felt threatened by it. Some even felt like it was a father figure, here to keep everybody safe during their visit here. Is it possible Pastor Peter is still attached to the energy of the congregation here? It sure sounds like it to us. Next time you pay a visit to Taft's, take a couple minutes to really feel the atmosphere outside of the great food and drink.